Now come to an arch position, anterior tilt of the pelvis. Bring your right knee a little to the left so it's right at the center of your mat. And then together we'll strengthen our outer hip muscles, but keep the anterior tilt of the pelvis and make sure your left knee is not going to go back when you lift it up. It's going to stay right underneath the pelvis. So lift your left knee up off the ground and make sure you pull it forward a little so that it doesn't drift back behind you. Lean into your left hand. So instead of leaning to your right, lean into your left hand. Your left leg is now off the ground. And you have a triangulation of two hands and your right knee. Now with your weight a little more towards the left, anterior tilt, stick your bum up to the sky, and now lift the left leg up and out to the side like a dog pees on the fire hydrant. Exhale, bring it back down, and actually squeeze right knee to left knee. Inhale, lift it up, lean into your left hand, anterior tilt, arch your back. Exhale, bring it back down. Careful that your leg doesn't drift back behind you on the way up. Inhale up, but keep it closer to your left armpit. Keep the weight in the left hand and back down. Open the pelvis, open the hip joint. Exhale, release down. Okay, bring your left knee up and out to the left, flexing the foot. Pull your left shin with your hand up towards your chest. Now, as we do this, to get deeper into the pose, your standing hip squeezes in and to the left. And you'll see that when you do that, right? If I just end here, then I'm limited by this hip joint on this side, which doesn't go much further than this point, right? But if I squeeze the hip in, you see the pelvis rotates, what's called lateral rotation of the pelvis, or lateral tilt of the pelvis, sorry. And that allows you to be more up high with this left knee. Now that requires lateral flexion of my right, my left side body is in lateral flexion, my right side is long. And you take your right hand behind your head like so, and lift the heart up. Left foot is active, flexed, left knee is up high, pelvis is laterally tilted down towards the right leg, up towards the left. Right side body, long, left side in lateral flexion. Some of you that want to go a little bit more advanced in this posture, you take your arms out to the sides, or even reach the right arm up, left arm down. When you do that variation there, you'll really feel the obliques activate on the shortened side. Right. The block, place it not in line with your foot, but off onto the side, on a diagonal out to the side. With your block off to the side, take your left hand on pelvis, left leg straight back, and open up the pelvis into Ardha Chandrasana. Now, the top leg and torso are in a neutral position if you open up your chest a little bit, whereas the right leg, the bottom leg, is externally rotated and abducted. Right now, if it wasn't for the right hip, my whole body, except for the right leg, are basically in Tadasana, okay? Neutral. And then we're gonna lower the left leg down towards the ground and then lift it up on the exhale. Actually, we'll do an inhale. Inhale, lift the leg up and go a little past neutral, try to abduct it, and then exhale, leg towards the ground. Inhale, go up, try to go past neutral, abduct it, exhale, lower. So you're releasing the outer hip muscles. Inhale, strengthen the outer hip muscles, the abductors, lower. So we'll do Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana B first, the kind of more traditional way of doing it. With the right hand will be on the wall, and we'll bring the left leg up and out to the left, and taking hold of the outer edge of the foot, or if you want to take toe lock, you can do that. Most of you are probably more comfortable with that. The outer edge of the foot, I find if you get a nice stronger grip, you can really utilize the grip to kick into. Now you notice let's do both sides like this first. So you can sag your left hip down, left pelvis down, and then squeeze the right hip in so your left hip lifts up. And then sag it down, squeeze it in. Okay, that's gonna be, and if you take the hand off the wall, that's gonna be all outer hip strength, opposite oblique strength. Right hand on the wall. Now there's two approaches. You could straighten the leg first, then rotate the pelvis. In some ways, that's the safer option, okay? So if you have any hamstring or adductor in your thigh or hamstrings have maybe the tendency to overstretch, then maybe that's the variation you do so you don't put yourself at higher risk. It's just harder to get up taller, right? So it's less risky because it's harder to actually increase the flexibility of it. So I'll show that. You would be here. Now the weight of your body is further out to the left, so hiking the pelvis up and going this way is going to be harder, although very possible. If you tend to be on the tighter spectrum, this next one may or may not be easier, but you would come here, start in this position where the pelvis is already laterally tilted, and then extend the leg up to the sky like so. Okay, so try both ways. Now, you want to start moving eventually in this pose towards what would be like a compass-like shape, which is significantly more challenging, where you would be grabbing the opposite hand to the foot that's up. So the preparations, and we're not going to go there today, but the preparation to do so, which is I think what's important, is that you would do basically side angle posture, side angle pose at the wall. It's kind of like Warrior Two. The major difference between side angle and the version at the wall is your bottom hip is going to be a lot more abducted because your pelvis is going to be rotated a lot more than your inside angle. So some of you, you'll run out of room at the bottom leg, but if that is the case, then you put your top foot on like a desk instead of the wall. So I have a little ledge. This is a great like beginner's way of doing this, where you're in side angle pose with the foot on a ledge, much easier. The next step would be to bring the foot up as high as you can on the wall. And you see now I'm in side angle pose. If you rotated this whole pose so that this floor was the wall was the ground, I'd be in side angle, except the bottom foot would be on the wall if this was really truly side angle. So way more abducted in this posture. Now, the next step would be a little more challenging, to work your shoulder underneath the knee and then do left hand to the wall. And this is where you start working with the compass variation. Okay, eventually you would grab your foot and straighten the leg.